Hello viewers, you're welcome to this tutorial. We are learning arguments in this session. So what is an argument? Okay, an argument is basically any additional information we add to our function in order for it to perform its task. Okay, so any task you want your function to perform, an argument is additional information you add to it, so it kind of does its work in a perfect way. Okay, so let's just move on. Now, why do we need an argument? To just go into all that now. We just need an argument to be able to allow our function to perform more stuff. Okay, we just don't want to isolate our function from the main code, so we have to add in argument. Sometimes this argument could come from your external code. Okay, an argument could be a variable you already have in your code which you want to implement within your function, or a new value you have yourself which you want to implement. So if you are able to pass in those values, then you're good to go. Now, there is something I believe you know, or you should know by now, that anytime you are calling your function and anytime you declaring your function, there are parentheses you use. All right, so if I have a function like this, just check it out. Now this is a basic function I have, okay, for calculation. And what is happening here right now is, if I call this function, you've taken notice that there's always an open and close bracket when you declare your function. And if I call the function as well, there's an open and close bracket which I call parentheses. So these are parentheses, these are also parentheses. So this parenthesis is what contains the argument. So anything outside the parentheses is not an argument. So if you check here, outside my function, I have a value called first value, okay? And inside my, now this is the basic function. I declare a variable outside, I declare a function. Inside the function, I also have a variable, and I have a result of adding the first value outside the function to the second value within the function, and I print the result and I call the function. So this is a basic code, okay? This is just an introduction to what an argument is. So I have first value outside my function. I call first value within my function. It doesn't mean it's an argument. If it is in the parentheses, then it becomes an argument. Okay, so it has to be in the parentheses before it's classified as an argument. So if it is not in the parentheses, then it's basically not an argument. I've just called the first value here. Okay, so I can call this first value also as an argument, which we'll go into it in the next tutorial. So what do we really want to know about argument? Just consider this open and close parentheses, open and close parentheses, because that's the point where the arguments are going to be in and every other stuff we need. Okay, so let's just jump. So these are the two things we have to know about arguments. Passing argument, which is passing in values when calling our function, and receiving argument, which is receiving in values when declaring our function. Now every function, in every function you declare the function. Okay, now this is function, function, you declare it before calling. Okay, so if you call your function like call, what did I say, call? Okay, anytime you declare a function, the open and close brackets, any value you put within, now we'll learn more advanced, this is the basic knowledge. Any value you put within is a value receiving from where you call the function. So if I have a function like okay, let me use what I have on the board on this. So I have defined a function called calculation, okay, and I've called the function calculation. So anything I put within the declared function is to receive the value I put in the called function. I think that's good explanation. So I have calculation here. Let's imagine I have another value called send to function. Okay, send to function equals hello. So I'm sending this value to function. All right, and so if I want to send it to the function as an argument, now this is not an argument. I've sent first value into the function, not as an argument, but I want to send to function. Okay, the value looks more sent to function. I want to send the variable sent to function within the argument, so I put it within the parentheses send to argument, send to function. Okay, and I bring the same thing here and say send to function. Now I'm going to explain so many things in the next tutorial. This is just an introduction, I repeat. Okay, so if I bring here print send to function and I run my code, see it comes hello. Okay, so that's what happens. Someone will ask, what if it's not printing the hello directly from the top? How sure are we it's printing this hello? I'm going to explain all this implementation in the next tutorial. So I just want you to get a concept that any argument I put within the parentheses when I call the function is to send back a response to the argument I put within the parameters when I'm declaring the function. So if there are no arguments here, this one kind of still works, which I'll explain in the next tutorial. But if there are no arguments here and I put argument here, we say no, you never told me I will be receiving any argument. So what is this argument? Just check it out. Okay, see, if I run this code here, calculation takes 0 positional argument by one given, meaning I'm supposed to take 0. I'm not supposed to take any positional argument, and you gave me 1. How possible? Now just check something else out. If I send to function and I come here as well and add another argument, and just I have another argument called value equal to true, and I come here as well and add the value. Oh, the value. All right, I add value, and now there are 2 arguments here which I'm passing into my function. As I said, any argument you put where you call your function is actually a passing argument into your function. Okay, so if I put 2 here or 3 or 4 arguments here, I am passing it. They are called passing arguments, or I'm passing values into where I declared my function. Because anytime you call your code, the declared code is executed. This code is not executed except I call it. Okay, so I have to pass them. Now this function, as I've declared it, is only receiving 1 argument, but I'm sending 2 arguments, so there'll be an error again. I want you to understand it well. So it says calculation takes 1. At first it says 0, but now 1. Why is it saying 1 now? Because by default I have giving it 1. Okay, so it knows I'm already taking 1 argument, but you've given 2. Okay, so this is where the error comes in. So I just want you to get a concept of anywhere you put in argument when you call your function, they are called passing argument. They pass values to your function. Okay, so you have to identify them here, that I will send values to you, and there are 2 values, so I have to declare 2 variables. Okay, I have to declare 2 variables, and our code runs so perfectly. So if I print this value, then we're good to go. Okay, so these are the basic things you need to know about argument, that wheresoever you are passing argument, the number of arguments you are sending, you kind of have to have them here so that you'll be able to receive them at that point, lest it will give you an error and you jumpstart everything. But this is default. Okay, this is my default, this is my argument itself. So if I have an argument here which I don't repeat here, it works. Okay, let's see. So I have an argument, maybe value equals 4. Just check it out. Value equals true, and I clean this value. There are no value, there is nothing. Okay, so check what happened. This will still print. It will give us see, it says true. Okay, so this is our main function itself. This is our declaring of a function. So everything we put within the argument works, but this is kind of making a reference to the function. So if you make a reference to the function, you need to respect the function and tell the function, please expect this value. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to teach you a whole lot of things about positional arguments, default values, and all this thing, to know that you can it's good to know how the function works, how to pass an argument, and as we implement them, you're going to understand the clear use of an argument. Because one thing is, an argument helps you to personalize values, because this first value we have here is just declared globally into the code. Okay, but if we personalize it here and we say first value, no, it helps us to personalize the value so we can have a value for ourselves. It helps you the program and readability. Okay, it helps you so much. It enables you to run through your code perfectly, knowing that these are the values I'm expecting in my first value, so you don't end up wandering around where is first value, where is first value. No, it really helps to personalize the value. It helps in code readability as well, and it helps you as well in passing default values and other stuff. So don't worry, we're going to explain it much in the next tutorial. This is just an introduction to what we have to do. So thanks for viewing. Subscribe if you've not, hit the bell for more updates, and like the video if it's informative for you. Thank you for